As you know, if you've watched these long enough, Monday mornings, I usually like to try to do some sort of market update, kind of what's going on in the media and the press and sort of just in the real estate world. And let's be honest, some weeks there's just not a lot going on. And this is kind of one of them. Is kind of quiet. There's a big housing bill that people want to get passed that President Trump is now saying he will not sign it, and Congress is basically saying they don't care. They can push it through without him. But it's kind of a big what to do about nothing. I don't see it changing anything dramatically. So move on past it. Now, that said, we can do a different thing today, which is just a little bit of sort of market education, if you will, right? And I want to talk about something because it's playing out with one of my listings right now. And so it's kind of fascinating to watch. And so I thought maybe this is something worth kind of discussing a little bit. And it's the notion of a contingent offer or a bumpable offer. And I know you're probably aware of what they are, but let's just talk at a framework. You've got a buyer who wants to buy a home, but they have to sell their house first. So basically, the contingent offer is, hey, I will buy your house once my house sells, and here's all the terms and all the details. And so then decision time is, does the seller want to take it? Do they not want to take it? And this is the whole process where once the house is under contract, this contract goes live and everything starts going forward. So you hear people talking about all the time, sellers saying, hey, I need to, I don't want to sell my house until I know where I'm going. So can I buy an offer or can I buy a house contingently, and then we list my house? And it's like, yes, you can, and there's benefits and there's detriments to it. That's what I want to talk about a little bit this morning. So now that we've talked about the mechanics of what the bumpable kind of contingent offer is, and I'll probably go interchangeably between those two. So sorry. Let's talk about sort of the advantages and disadvantages, right? Because there's a little bit of both. So let's start with disadvantages. If you're the buyer side coming in and you're going to write a contingent offer, and I can tell you because this is exactly what just happened, they're walking in this house saying, okay, this house has been sitting for a little bit. Let's come in with a little bit of a soft offer, but we're contingent on the sale of our home. So they're not going to take that, right? There needs to be a premium because I'm going to have this house tied up while they wait for me to sell my house. So suddenly it's a full price offer. So in theory, notionally, you're spending more money probably than you need to for a home, but you're getting that benefit of the contingency on your sale. So disadvantage number one for the buyer, you're just going to pay a little bit more money. Okay. Now, for the seller side, here's the disadvantage. Your home's under contract, kind of. The home can still be shown, so other realtors can come in and possibly bring in somebody else who's going to bump this other person out of the way. But things like social media, Zillow, Redfin, some of them, I think certainly Zillow, if your house is pending, or I'm sorry, is contingent or bumpable, it doesn't show up as an available home. So for those people who are just at home going through some of those apps, they're not going to see your house anymore. Your activity will decline. Realtor-based searches from the good realtors, we'll continue to keep searching for those. So we'll keep seeing it, but you're going to see your activity decline. Your house is sort of tied up. If it doesn't work, you have to go back as active. It looks kind of weird on the history of your home. So it's a little bit of kind of a downside there, right? Okay. Let's go back to the advantages. The advantages now for the buyer is, hey, you've gotten this home that you love. It's tied up. You've got it. All you have to do is sell your other house. So you need to kind of market and price that thing like crazy and get that sucker sold so you can get this house that ideally you want. And yeah, you're going to do this for perfect from A to B, no hiccups in between. It works out great. It's a great advantage to you. What's the advantage to the home seller? Easy. Here's the part that comes up that gets a little bit dicey, but you get the notification, hey, our home is officially under contract. Now we're going forward on your home. Now kind of everyone's moving on sort of that same timeline, 30-ish days, maybe 35 days, maybe get a little bit of a pad in there, but you have very similar timelines. Sorry, I got to shoo the cat away. You have very similar timelines going on for your buyers of selling their house and buying your house, which means now we're going through home inspections probably around the same time. We're negotiating repairs around the same time. Here's the fun for the sellers. Your buyer is selling their house. They are under contract. And at that point, they can't back out. They can refuse to do any repairs, and maybe their buyer goes away and they get to stay home if you guys can't work out your deal. But it gives you a significant upper hand on negotiating repairs for the home that you're selling because your buyers, pardon the expression, they're pretty pregnant with this purchase, right? They need this house, or suddenly they're going to go from home to home. No, they're going to go from home to an Airbnb or a hotel or a friend's house, or life gets hard. So advantages, disadvantages, it clearly favors the home seller, but not without risk. And if you're the buyer, you're just going to pay more. You're going to give up more. It'll work, but it's just not the ideal scenario, not the ideal plan. There you go. That's the contingent offer. That's how it works. That's the mechanics. It's the ups and the downs. It's effective, but it's going to cost you. All right. That's all I'm going to talk about. Have a great week and appreciate you watching this. Take care.